The producers of Harvesting Happiness podcast proudly present Positively Contagious, the mental health survival kit for the COVID-19 pandemic. Positively Contagious with Lisa Cypers, Kamen, and Andrea Minghelli features tips and tools for staying sane and emotionally fit while sheltering in place. Give us 9 minutes or less, and we'll give you smart and simple strategies for your well-being. This is Lisa Cypers, Kamen, host of Harvesting Happiness, and producer Andrea Minghelli. We are here again with Positively Contagious, helping you with suggestions and ways to manage coronation, how to manage and thrive in spite of these challenges of the coronavirus. Today we're talking about what to do if you get sick. And this is a very real threat and a really real fear. And I think it's not just what if we get sick with coronavirus? It's what if we get sick with an ear infection? What if we get sick with a urinary tract infection? I mean, there are lots of other things going on besides COVID-19. Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead, Andrea.
Well, and something else that comes to mind too is what to do if you were in a position where you might be running low on a prescription and you need a refill, but you need to see your physician or your practitioner for that refill.
Oh.
That's the best time to be going into the doctor's office.
I have a story about that. So, because we care for an elder in our home, about 3 weeks ago, and it's taken 3 weeks, I just want to say that, to get on top of the 2-week emergency extra prescriptions on hand that the CDC and others who do disaster preparedness have suggested. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal. Those of us who care for elders, Medicare will only pay for 30 days at a time. Most insurance companies will, I think, pay for 90 days at a time. So it's important to know that if you have a 90-day prescription, but the pharmacy and your doctor and your insurance company will only pay for 30, that you can pay out of pocket, hang on before you eye roll and hit your wallet, and apply a special discount card that brings the total in at close to whatever the prescription copay is. And I discovered this through the story with Auntie. She was low on medication. I petitioned to get additional medications for her. And the pharmacist said, you can pay for it out of your pocket. And I have this discount card. And I think one of them is advertising, and we get paid nothing for this. So this is free advertising for the Good RX, but it allows you to apply some sort of group code that reduces the cost of those medications. Also, if you run low, another thing I discovered, and this is from experience, is that the pharmacist can override and provide an emergency supply.
Those are all really good things to know.
Well, and I discovered it as a result of this. This is what coronavirus has taught me, which is, very, very helpful. But let's talk about some other tips if one is to be sick. I mean, there is the isolation within the home and separation from the family, the using of separate utensils, eating, taking the meals separately, being the hygiene and the wiping down of things being stepped up exponentially. But what do you do if you feel like you've got it?
The CDC has put out some really good information that you and I were just discussing earlier.
Yeah.
As far as guidelines for how to handle things in your home. And, of course, the number one thing is to isolate from the rest of the household, including pets.
Yes, including our four-legged friends or two-legged Tweety friends or goldfish and I mean, I'm being silly, but I don't really mean it that way. It really means to take care and understand that there are still some unknowns. And I want to reiterate that the statistics of the survival rate of this COVID-19 are excellent. Only the severely compromised are the ones who are truly at risk. And we have a social responsibility to not only keep ourselves healthy, but see that the elders and those who are compromised also remain healthy. And that's by practicing really good hygiene.
Yes, indeed. Washing those hands for as long as necessary, making sure that we use soap, warm water, drying thoroughly, anything we can do to reduce the likelihood that those little germs are on our hands and get elsewhere.
And if one feels as though they have gotten sick, it's important to understand that this is a virus, right? The virus has a path. It has a certain period of time that it goes through for incubation when we're feeling sick. Some of us will shed the virus sooner than others, depending on our immunostatus. If we have a strong immune system, we'll be able to shake it more quickly than somebody who is compromised. But that we do get better, and that if testing is available, that's nice because you're able to test, understand that you have it, and then test again 2 weeks later to see if the virus is gone. But the protocol is the same. If you're sick with a cold, you don't snuggle with your kids.
No, not at all. As difficult as it may be, the answer is no.
Right. So common sense has to prevail if we get sick, because the last place we want to go is to the hospital with this thing.
Yes, because you're vulnerable at that point, and then you're exposing yourself to even more.
So the strength of the immune system, having a plan of action if someone gets sick. The number one telltale sign of COVID-19, of course, is the temperature. There are other symptoms. So if you're not feeling well, best to maybe separate from the family and then monitor the temperature. I believe it is. So there's a 5-day incubation period. And all of this is available for free on the CDC and other resources. Another site that I really like is Johns Hopkins University. They have a site devoted strictly to coronavirus with an interactive map where you can understand the migration of this virus. It's pretty interesting. It also offers tips of what to do and how to do it and where to go. And the government is stepping up its game to offer relief and resources for treatment. Yes,
most certainly they are. Something else that comes to mind too is having a little preparedness kit in your house, just in case.
The go bag.
Exactly, because we never know how we're going to be exposed to this. It's not like we can predict, okay, if you went to the store on this day, we don't know. People aren't symptomatic right away. So we could all potentially have been exposed. So it's just a good idea to be prepared and, have your, fever reducer. I've been reading online that acetaminophen is supposed to be the best choice for this. And, anything else that you would need to soothe yourself from those symptoms that you might get.
The silver lining, going back to a prior episode, right? Like what we can learn from this is that if one were to get it, they are immune from it.
Yes.
So there is a belief, Dr. Fauci, who I think is the virus god in the United States, he was talking about a believed exposure to between 40 and 60% of Americans will have exposure to the virus. They may be asymptomatic. So in other words, they might not get sick, but they could test positive. Mm-hmm. So once it's in your system, you won't get it again. So I think that not panicking and understanding what the virus does, and like I said earlier, the migration of it is super helpful. And the use of telemedicine. We're going to go a little bit longer in this little mini episode because I want to also mention, if you do not know, most of the insurance companies, the health insurance companies today offer a feature for remote health, or what's known as telemedicine. You might have to make a separate subscription through your insurance company, but it is at no cost to you, or in some cases there's a $5 copay. I've used it myself through my carrier. And with telemedicine, you can speak with either a doctor, a nurse practitioner, or a nurse, or a physician's assistant, and talk about your symptoms and see if there's further action required. And you do not have to leave your home. And in many cases, if you are suspected to have the virus, the test will come to you. Someone will come to your home and in a safe environment administer the test. So I think that's really important to know. Use telemedicine, limit your exposure.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Those are all great solutions.
So we're going to sign off for now with Positively Contagious. In the meantime, we wish you to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay humorous. We'll be back with another episode soon. Thanks for joining us on this special episode of Positively Contagious. This is Lisa Cypers Kamen and producer Andrea Minghelli signing off for now. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive. Don't forget to tune in for our regular Consciously Prepared Brain Food on Harvesting Happiness, wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about Harvesting Happiness consulting services, please visit harvestinghappiness.com. Get social with us on Facebook at Harvesting Happiness, on Twitter at HH Talk Radio, and on Instagram at HH_Talk Radio.